Aye lawyer kese a o choose prison over pardon. Abusunya lawyer Tstastu Tsikata ene wababa drop a secret expose be straight to a electoral commission office. Mami a friend Jane Mensa. Na lawyer Tstastu Tsikata. Sisi akwa ni dini en fan friend bi ono ena ye law na nkasa. So op na Ghana ye 1992 constitution no. Ye kan obi a onim law odi law or the law ye be a lawyer Tstastu Tsikata. Your friend law, the law. Abusuya, mobeka ya 2020 general election. And say no, or ye NDC legal team member. 2020 general elections no. There were some controversies be ana koso. After say Mensa declare final election or declare the ma NPRA amanyoko no na emu enda hosa into President Mahama file a petition at the call Supreme Court ema sa lawyer ono na only the NDC legal team no na otra 2020 general elections no a returning officer a friend Mami Mensa na obepie mo court ho na ode ensembi eba betudwa no abusuya judges ne kura allow Mami Mensa say ombra be gina adaka mu na onye ensembia no abusuya enti no Supreme Court dismiss President Mahama ayene application or file at the Supreme Court omo anhwe nanim kura na nasema a o kan say Mami na ye friend Mensa no 2020 general elections na course bepem ne on accounting for it. Bepem ne on accounting for it. Into omu deny President Mahama as a year 2020 no general election omu deny ne win. But ene 2024 no or chair President Mahama or ye vindicated. Na 2020 crown oko parliament and ye hang parliament. And President Mahama enka obeye president sa time na enka ontumi nya de opese oye bene oye vindicated at 2024 general elections no or the super majority ena eye adwuma entabusuya lawyer Tstastu Tsikata wa press on Mami a ye friend no Mensa EC boss momi enko na yenkonkoti ensema lawyer Tstastu Tsikata edituda na Mensa wa ye shocked on asema lawyer edituda ono nim say masa sa asem no kra akoda ne ba bi kra obia enkonko pejampa na che say OSP nensa mo ba no Mami Mensa de enso ye de eba momi enko na yenkonko tie ensema ekos.
Congratulations to the Supreme Court for chalking 150 years since its operations. Long may our judiciary grow. Talking about the judiciary, a luminary in that sector, lawyer Tstastu Tsikata, has said that up until today, the country has no definitive accounting for the 2020 presidential elections. He attributed the reason to the refusal of the panel to not allow the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mensa, to testify as the returning officer of the presidential election. Mr. Tsikata raised his concerns during the UPSA honorary lecture and award ceremony, where he received a Lifetime Achievement Award on Wednesday.
The 2020 election was challenged at the Supreme Court by the National Democratic Congress, which raised concerns over the election process. During his speech, renowned lawyer Tstastu Tsikata said the court should have permitted Mensa to mount the witness box for questioning over the conduct of the 2020 elections.
I found it sad during the election petition following the December 2020 presidential election, the constitutionally designated returning officer, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, even though she had deposed to an affidavit verifying the answer of the Electoral Commission and was supposed to testify, did not testify to present the authoritative final figures, much less explain the ever-changing figures from the Commission. To this day, therefore, the country has no definitive accounting for the 2020 presidential election. In the face of evidence of a failure even to be in attendance at the process in the collation center at the EC head office, the declaration of results that she made was even more problematic. Unanimous FC was the verdict of the people on the proceedings in the Supreme Court, which shielded the returning officer from accounting to the people of Ghana.
Tsikata pointed out that the outcome of the 2024 election vindicated Mahama.
The negative reaction of ordinary people to the appearance of judges to participate in the swearing-in of the new president on 7 January 2025 was an unfortunate reflection of the people's attitude to the unanimous FC. I may also say that from the point of view of President Mahama, whose election petition was dismissed by the unanimous FC, vindication came comprehensively in December 2024. What he could not have done with the hung parliament after the 2020 election, he now has a chance to do decisively with a supermajority in parliament. This vindication, however, comes with a heavy weight of responsibility and expectation, which I believe the president is conscious of.
His comment comes as he reflects on the role of the judiciary and the legal profession in maintaining public trust.
We lawyers in particular, judges most especially, must be in the vanguard of the respect for legality and justice.
In more news tonight, Labour union leaders have described government's decision to absorb 2 cedis per litre on diesel and 36 pesos per litre on petrol as timely. The intervention is aimed at easing the burden on workers and the general public. Our Labour Affairs correspondent Daniel Opoku has filed this report.
Government, in line with Cabinet's decision to cushion fuel price hikes, on Wednesday announced plans to absorb 2 cedis per litre on diesel and 0.36 pesos per litre on petrol. The decision takes effect on April 16, 2026, which marks the next pricing window. The intervention will remain in force for a period of 1 month. Leaders of some labor unions, including the president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Jacob Anaba, the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Thomas Tanko Musa, and the General Secretary of the Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEU, King James Azotiba, say the intervention has brought relief to workers across the country.
The wealth prices is going up. What government needs to do is that he has to look at it. What are the taxes I have put on the fuel? And remove some of the taxes. But now I understand it is a subsidy. It means that government will have to look for money and pay. So we are creating debt somewhere. What we need to avoid.
Because of that, the GPRTU have decided that they will not increase lorry fares. And many other people, decisions that they could have taken, which would have gone to affect the ordinary worker, ordinary Ghanaian, all of them have ended up suspending those decisions as a result of the reduction of the diesel by 2 Ghana cedis and the petrol by 0.36 pesos. Because of that, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana must be commended.
When you take diesel, about almost 9 cedis per litre is enough, per gallon is enough intervention that will cushion the Ghanaian public and the Ghanaian worker.
Despite the commendation, the union leaders have called on government to sustain the intervention beyond the initial 1-month period.
1 month, I agree, but they have to come clear. They have to be transparent. You have to indicate to the citizens that these are the taxes we have on fuel. This is what we want to take away from the fuel, the taxes. And let's be transparent to the citizens of Ghana. If you say 2 cedis, which part of the taxes is it affected? Because the price from the international market remains the same. Sure. You have brought the fuel here. You have put certain taxes and levies on them. Remove them.
There are shocks that come to hit us suddenly and surprisingly unaware. We are sometimes taken by events. And when that happens and our economy is thrown off gear, the cedi is no longer standing anywhere, and the dollar is dribbling the cedi like anything, by the time we realize, we'll go to the IMF. Why? It is because our fundamentals are weak, and we need to be careful the way we go.
We're only hoping that within the 1 month, it does not escalate for the prices to go shoot higher. When it shoot higher, we buy and we come and sell, and we cannot do anything. Then the long-term effect is that if it continues, then we are going to suffer. We can only pray.
According to the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, the combined effect of the reduced margins will translate into an average estimated revenue loss of at least 200 million cedis for government in each pricing window.
The Member of Parliament for Old Tafo, Vincent Ekoesafua, has accused the National Pensions Regulatory Authority of misusing pension funds, alleging that resources have been improperly spent on foreign training programs, payment of double salaries, and plans to embark on a second phase of the NPRA head office project. He says these actions point to poor spending priorities and weak governance within the authority's current leadership, and has demanded an independent review of the situation.
It has been confirmed that NPRA undertook a 2-week foreign training program at Bentley University in Boston involving 11 board members, 6 directors, and senior management staff, translating to well over 8 million Ghana cedis, excluding tuition, logistics, and incidental expenses which remain undisclosed. Reports indicate the appointment of a personal aide, reportedly a veterinary doctor, who has been elevated to the position of assistant manager. Despite the establishment of a fully fledged directorate for micro-pensions, Mr. Éxp0sé Mensa is also reported to have appointed the former CEO, the former chief executive officer of the NPRA, Kofi Anoche, as a consultant on micro pensions at a reported cost of 4 million Ghana cedis. That is the duplication of cost to the ordinary pensioner. Some 3-4 years ago, the NPRA committed a lot of money in building the first phase of the headquarters of the NPRA. And today, if you move along the N1 highway, that facility is there, uncommissioned, unused. We have a certain NPRA CEO who has also taken pensioners' money, about 700 million Ghana cedis, to go and expand that headquarters. I therefore call on His Excellency the President of the Republic, the Minister for Finance, as the current supervising minister, the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, the Executive Secretary of CLOCSAC, the General Secretary of NAT, the General Secretary of NAGRAT, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Corporate Trustees, the Chairperson and members of the Forum for Public Sector Pension Schemes, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, civil society organizations, and the Auditor General to take an immediate interest in these matters and ensure that the hard-earned pension contributions of the Ghanaian workers are protected from waste.
Well, so on the back of all those allegations, we contacted the National Pensions Regulatory Authority for a reaction to this, and they have told us an official response will be issued anytime soon to address some of the claims made by the Old Tafo MP, and I will definitely update you when we do get those updates.
In more news tonight, World Vision Ghana has unveiled its global strategy, Our Promise 2030, which aims to deliver lasting community-based impact for vulnerable children around the world. The strategy aims to empower 125 million vulnerable children with a strong focus on child protection, education, health and nutrition, including efforts to address anemia and improve mental health.
The World Vision Ghana Global Strategy focuses on integrated programs, strong partnerships, and sustainable funding to address the root causes of poverty. It also places emphasis on child protection, emergency response, and holistic development by working closely with communities. Officials say the launch marks a renewed commitment to improving the well-being of vulnerable children and ensuring long-term development outcomes. Speaking at the launch, the National Director, Tina Mukunda, emphasized that the initiative will empower communities.
We still see gaps, and World Vision cannot keep quiet. World Vision cannot stay calm. World Vision cannot rest until every child is safe. And therefore, we have noted that around 18% of our children are still malnourished. We have noted that we still have gaps in our foundational learning. 44% of the population in Ghana struggle to access clean, safe water for their domestic use, but also they are underserved as far as sanitation and hygiene is concerned.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namumu-Late, lauded the initiative.
World Vision Ghana brings not only financial resources, but also technical expertise and innovative approaches that have enriched our national response to child welfare challenges. Its multi-sectorial approach aligns closely with the ministry's integrated strategy for delivering holistic development outcomes for children in Ghana.
The Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, who launched the strategy and delivered the keynote address, called for collaboration.
Hope for every child, harnessing opportunities for the protection and empowerment of every child. World Vision Ghana aims to improve the lives of 2.8 million children, especially the most vulnerable and their families by 2030. I am happy to observe that this strategy aligns perfectly with Ghana's national development priorities and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
The Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, has revealed deep-seated challenges within Ghana's local governance system, with calls for urgent reforms to improve efficiency, accountability, and inclusiveness. This came to light during a stakeholder forum held to collate inputs on proposed reforms to the country's decentralization framework. Here's a report by Upper West correspondent Ibrahim Wangara.
Stakeholder Forum brought together key actors in local governance, including district chief executives, district coordinating directors, presiding members, queens, and media practitioners to validate findings from a nationwide survey conducted across selected districts. Programs Manager for Local Governance and the Security Sector at CDD Ghana, Paul Nana Kwabena Abrempa Mensa, sheds light on the major findings.
So the major ones I can summarize is that some of the assemblies are weak financially, and they, apart from the District Assembly Common Fund, they don't generate enough to see their development. In some of the districts, we have the district structures not functioning. We also have complaints from the chiefs who said the consultation system at the assemblies is not enough. They are only consulted during salt cutting. There were also complaints of inability of assembly members to consult their constituents prior to assembly meetings.
The engagement captured divergent views on the election of metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, with participants rejecting proposals for phased elections, describing them as discriminatory.
If we are promoting voting for our MMDCs, we should just make it a universal arrangement so that every district, they have the opportunity to elect their MMDC through a universal adult suffrage process.
The presiding member for the One Metropolitan Assembly, Nu Abdul Wahab, called for the adoption of a simple majority voting system in the election of presiding members to avoid delays, waste of resources, and administrative inefficiencies.
This is news.